In my family, women do not celebrate their 36th birthday. We plan weddings, we name our children, we build dreams, but we do not grow old. By the time I turned 34, I had already attended the funerals of my grandmother, my mother, and 2 aunties, all buried at the same age, 35. That was the number that waited for us like a shadow, and it was now waiting for me. I am called Amara, first daughter of first daughters, a lineage of strong women whose laughter once filled our compound in eastern Nigeria. Growing up, death was never discussed openly. In my family, silence was tradition. When I asked my mother why grandma died so young, she would say it was God's time. When I asked why Auntie Ifunanya collapsed on her birthday, she replied, some questions should sleep. But questions do not sleep forever. They grow. And they followed me as I grew older. The pattern reveals itself. I was 25 when my mother died. Healthy, prayerful, kind. On the morning of her 35th birthday, she dressed in white, tied her wrapper neatly, and said to me, if I don't return by sunset, go to the old Iroko tree behind the village shrine. She never came back. By evening, the women were already wailing. No illness, no warning, just gone. That night, fear became my inheritance, racing against time. At 30, I left the village for the city. Lagos was loud, fast, alive, everything my village was not. I told myself I would break the cycle with education, with prayer, with distance. But the dream started. Every night at exactly 3:35 a.m., I would see women standing by a river, their faces hidden, their voices calling my name. Come home, they whispered. It is time. When I turned 34, my body began to weaken. Doctors found nothing. Pastors prayed. Still, I felt something pulling me. Not sickness, but memory. Against everyone's advice, I returned home. The village had not changed. The same red earth, the same quiet nights. That was when I met Mama Uju, the oldest woman alive, 90 years old, bent but sharp-eyed. She looked at me once and said, you are running out of time because your family ran away from truth. She led me to the Iroko tree my mother had mentioned. There, buried beneath the roots, was a calabash wrapped in red cloth. Mama Uju told me the truth my family buried. Long ago, my great-grandmother made a vow. She begged the river spirit for wealth, beauty, and fertile daughters. The price was simple but cruel. Every woman will shine, but only briefly. 35 years of life, no more. But the spirit had given one escape clause. The curse ends when one woman chooses truth over fear and gives back what was taken. Inside the calabash were the symbols of the vow, beads, coins, and blood-stained cloth. I had a choice: walk away or end it forever. At dawn on my 35th birthday, I stood by the river. I returned the calabash. I confessed the greed, the silence, the cowardice of generations. I did not beg. I spoke the truth. The river rose quietly, then fell. No thunder, no drama, only peace. Breaking the cycle. I did not die that day, nor the next. Weeks passed, then months.
For the first time in my family's history, a woman turned 36. I planted a tree by the Iroko. I named my daughter Nkiru. The future is greater.
Some curses survive not because they are powerful, but because silence feeds them. Healing begins when one person is brave enough to face the past and choose a better future. You may be the one your bloodline has been waiting for. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope. And if you believe African folktales carry wisdom meant to heal generations, subscribe to Tales by Nennie for more inspiring stories like this. Until next time, remember, your story does not have to end the way it began.